I feel like this will remain one of the most perplexing documentaries I've ever watched, because I don't know why Boogie would agree to it. It makes him look so bad.
I took women on vacations, and I took them out to fancy dinners, and I took them to like Disneyland and shit.
Do you think Charlie's was like extra brutal? I thought he sounded like a fucking prude.
I watched it.
I think he sounded like a prude that deliberately took you out of context.
No,
that's what it sounded. I think you're afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that.
I watched it on.
Like he deliberately took you out of context, and while you were saying this is all the stupid stuff I done with the money, he took that somehow, some way as I demand women, I deserve women, I'm entitled to LA 10s. I don't know how he twisted that. And Wings,
well, I'll be honest with you.
You felt the same way when you wrote that when you saw that, right?
I heard when Boogie said that he was being sarcastic, and I think
that's what I thought.
Yes, I thought Charlie was.
When I said it, from the horse's mouth. When I said that, I was talking in the past tense. If you listen to if you listen to it, right, it's clearly past tense.
I thought you were talking in the past tense. I didn't. I thought you were saying, like, he's saying you were being sarcastic. That's how Wings took it. I took it as sarcasm, but sarcasm in the sense is this is what an idiot I was. This is why I blew all this fucking money.
Hey y'all, what's good? I'm back with another video, and I want to say real quick before we get into today's content, thank you all for over 1K in less than 24 hours. I really appreciate it, man. Even though it's a lot of trolls, a lot of haters, a lot of Boogie haters that found the video, man, that's still okay. I'm trying to be on the come up, and you know, this is motivating me to work a little bit harder. So without further ado, let's get into today's content. Now, yesterday, I was very eager and happy to make a video laying into Mutahar. Pretty clear how I feel about Mutahar. Don't like the guy. He kind of sucks. Kind of a freaking loser, man. Now, here, I have to talk about someone MoistCr1TiKaL, a.k.a. Penguinz, a.k.a. Charlie, okay? And that kind of sucks, man, because I really like this guy, dude. Like, his videos are so fucking funny, man. Like, he's so funny, dude. He's been doing a lot of these, like, videos of these, like, weird, creepy, obsessive-ass guys, dude, that will be, like, texting these girls or don't know how to act on a date, and they're so fucking funny, man, because I get a lot of weird fucking comments like that, too, man, being trans and everything, and my fucking ex, dude, is, like, an OnlyFans model, and she be sending me the crazy shit she get all the time, man, so that's just a whole nother story, but yeah, I get a good little kick out of that shit. Man, I can't handle social awkwardness, bro. I grew up as, like, a social butterfly. So, like, those weirdos, bro, it's like, how do you not know how to act? How was you not raised right? You know what I mean, man? But anyways, so here, we gotta talk about MoistCr1TiKaL. Now, I saw this video he made about Boogie, and I was thinking the whole time, man, like, do you really believe that? Do you really believe Boogie's, like, this entitled and everything? And, like, I didn't take it like that, you know? And I didn't think much of it at first. And so I saw the Lolcow podcast last night, man. By the way, first episode of Lolcow podcast came out. It was pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. I'd give it a go if you're interested at all, man. If you care about Lolcows, if you're into Boogie, you know, like, it's pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. I liked it, man. But anyways, one of the things they talked about is Wings and Tommy C both also felt like MoistCr1TiKaL's view was very unfair, right? Like, he had this very bad faith critical judgment. And now Boogie just seems to think it's a misperception. He talked about how he had like a 4-hour conversation with Mike Klum about how when you put a work of art out there, you leave it up for interpretation. Now, sometimes people are going to interpret it wrongly. That's a hard lesson I had to learn, man. I used to freak out about that shit. Now I'm like, I just get it, man. Y'all can have whatever opinion. If you don't get it, you don't get it, man. I'm here for the people that get me. It's going to be people on my wavelength. It's going to be people that get my aura, that get my soul, get my vibe. If you get that, if you rock with me, let me know, man, because I appreciate that shit. If you a troll, if you a hater, you could kick rocks. Go fuck yourself. I don't even care, man, you know? But I think in this case, I think MoistCr1TiKaL just wanted to make a really good, entertaining video. Something he's very good at. And now I think the fact that he's been watching and making all this content about these, like, obsessive creeps with the weird text and everything, these entitled, misogynistic assholes, right? I think he might have conflated some of that with Boogie. You know, he's been so exposed to all this content he's been making and he's been consuming himself. Maybe when he saw what Boogie was doing, he conflated the two. It might have happened by accident, or maybe like he really is embellishing a little bit in his opinion. Either or, I felt we should talk about it, you know, because they did bring it up in the Lolcow podcast. And also, I'm going to give a little review of the Lolcow podcast, okay? So let's get right into the content, man.
So, for those that don't know, Boogie is an OG YouTuber who was absolutely at the top of the game for a long time. He won a fucking award for being a nice guy in the gaming community, basically. They used to call him the Mr. Rogers of the internet.
So I wanted to put this little clip at the beginning here because it points out a very good red flag that we oftentimes see on YouTube. There's a lot of YouTubers, think Mr. Beast, perfect example, Mr. Beast. They have this like nice guy, like Mr. Rogers, super clean, super friendly image. Now, anyone that's portraying themselves like that, be very wary of, okay, man? Because no one is that. We're humans, man. We have sinful nature. We're all fallen, bro. We all have this nature. So people that walk around like, I'm a good guy, they portray themselves, man, you not a fucking good guy, man. I wear my flaws on my sleeve. I wear my heart on my sleeve, bro. Like, I'm real. I'm genuine. Think about someone like Keemstar. Keemstar, a real one. You know, if you got ran over by a bus in the street and there was another one coming, Keemstar would run in the street to save you. Mr. Beast wouldn't. He'd do like a challenge video or something, man. All you gotta know is this. The only time Mr. Beast is spending money to help people is when it profits him as a business, okay? So don't trust any of these nice guy ass images, these brand friendly images. It's false.
However, after watching the documentary, I'm starting to believe he is just not a good person. I was always under the impression that buried deep down is a caring individual who had a good heart and good intentions and just got a little lost and confused along the way. But after seeing this and all of the worst aspects of his life that he just proudly highlights here, I just really am starting to think he's just not a good guy. So the first thing I want to show you is his addiction to sex workers. He has spent a pretty penny on paying for sex, as well as paying for like vacations and stuff for the sex workers to accompany him, this and that. And it also gives an insight into the way he views women, which I think is a pretty repulsive perspective he has on a lot of it, at least from what he describes here. And one thing that becomes instantly recognizable is his sense of entitlement, which becomes a prevalent point throughout this entire documentary, where he believes that because he was a successful YouTuber, anything he wants, he deserves. He should get. He is entitled to it.
It's not a revelation. I liked beautiful women. I like to hang out with beautiful women, fuck beautiful women. We all do. I never got to do that. The women I dated were pretty, sure, but they were like Arkansas 8s, not LA 10s. With sugaring, I got to fuck some LA 10s, and I think that's cool. So I deserve to go to Disneyland with a beautiful girl, right? I deserve to go to New York and explore Times Square with a beautiful girl, right? Like, I deserve that, and I want that, and I've never had it.
Why do you deserve that? Because you filmed your 20th Francis chugging Mountain Dew while pooping his pants and putting popcorn in a microwave video? Like, what? It's such a deranged mindset that he believes he is entitled to all of these women wanting to slobber on his meat because he is a famous YouTuber. He shouldn't be settling for an Arkansas 8. No, he deserves the LA 10s. So he pays for sex workers because Boogie deserves that top shelf pussy with the pinky out.
So I can't even count. Charlie had me cracking up a little bit. Dude funny as hell. But anyways, man, I don't know how he could so like grossly misinterpret this. First off, Boogie's talking in the past tense of like his mindset when he wasted 200K on escorts and shit. And then the second part is, dude, he doesn't feel entitled because he's a big YouTuber. He says he deserves it because he could pay for it, bro. Like, I got a message for all broke boys. You a broke boy? Why the fuck is you chasing pussy? Is you stupid? All you gotta do is get your bag up. For one, they'll come around thinking they could get some. You don't even have to give most of them some. And two, if you want to, you could pay for whatever you want at that point, man. Like, dude, if he felt entitled, he wouldn't pay, dude. So how does it make sense, dude? A person that's willing to pay doesn't feel entitled. They understand they have to pay, dude. what? Like, it doesn't add up.
And to me, this audacity is alarming. To me, this screams that he only views women as objects to be conquered sexually. He shouldn't be settling for something that's an Arkansas 8. That's beneath him. Have they looked at his subscriber count? No. What he deserves is the LA 10s, so he gets into the sugar baby community.
She's definitely a little thicker than I necessarily would always go for, but there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a 48-year-old man. I never got to fuck a model. This let me fuck a couple of models. Is that wrong?
A very important lesson to learn is nobody is entitled to anything other than a knuckle sandwich if you start calling me short. I'm kidding. You'd probably still beat my ass. But the point is, you don't deserve anything. To speak here like you deserve these women, you are entitled to these women because of your online success, is so delusional. And speaking of delusion, him criticizing the lady for being thicker than he would normally go for is just downright ridiculous and absurd.
Alright, so then he goes on to talk about how, like, oh, like, he deserves LA 10s or whatever, so he got into sugaring. Well, like, what's the big issue, bro? He's not, like, acting entitled and, like, he gets nothing in return. Like, oh, I got this big subscriber count, you should fuck me. Like, he's literally, you're saying it, he's sugaring to get the shit. So, like, dude, like, I guess, like, if you have the money and you want to pay for it, you deserve it. Like, it's not entitlement. And then also, he's saying, like, he's a misogynist, right? He just views women as something to conquer. Now, maybe that's true, maybe that's not. But in the Lolcow podcast, I'll include a clip right here.
Most people go on for sex. Like you went for something else. That's interesting.
I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I think the mental state I was in was I wanted to feel useful. I wanted to feel appreciated. I wanted to feel like a good person. And doing that let me feel like those things.
He actually talks about that mostly it was about taking care of them. And oftentimes, man, like with this escort shit, like there's something called girlfriend experience. Well, they'll just go out and act like they're on a date, and sometimes sex isn't even involved. Oftentimes it is, but sometimes it's not. My ex, man, she used to do that shit when we were living together, right? And sometimes she'd come back to the house with a bunch of money and weed and shit. Sometimes she wouldn't even have to fuck the guy. Like, pretty interesting, man. And I used to think it was pretty fucking cool. I was like, dude, you just went out for a night and, like, we didn't have shit. Now you came back and now we have shit in the house. I always kind of respected that, man. Pussy is power. It is incredibly hard to believe that you're not just blatantly misinterpreting this when the guy literally says, I never got to fuck LA 10s, only Arkansas 8s, and sugaring while they show him with a handful of cash allowed me to do that. And then you go and you say that he feels entitled to this because of his online presence. Bro, Boogie literally said because of his money. And, like, that's how the world has always worked. Like, people have been paying for pussy since the beginning of time. You know? Like, Mary Magdalene, there was, like, hookers in the Bible, dude. Like, I don't understand. Like someone who's willing to pay for a hooker is not an entitled person, man. Because then they would, like, just, like, take it, right? Because they're entitled. They feel like they deserve it. So they would just take it. They never pay for it. Paying for it is an admission that you're not entitled to it. You gotta pay, right?
It just really seems like with the way he speaks about women throughout the documentary, he just views them as sexual props for his own pleasure. Really, that's the most important thing when it comes to women for him. He doesn't want to be caught dead with an Arkansas 8. Instead, it's all about the LA 10s, so that way he can fuck them. And that's what he cares about most.
Now, maybe Charlie isn't fully aware of this, but what Boogie is talking about is when he was at his lowest of his low. When he was planning to just blow for all his money and then essentially kill himself. That was his plan, right? He said he was going to spend all his money and blow his brains out. And when he was doing this, he wanted to feel like he mattered, like he had a purpose, like he could, you know, take care of someone. So he started taking care of escorts, right, man? And that's why he was buying them things and taking them out and taking them to trips and things. It was never about that. And you say that how he keeps talking about women. Well, what about all the times he's talking about his girlfriend? Now, I know it's a weird dynamic, right? She's 20, he's however fucking old he is. But the more you listen to it and the more you listen to her and you hear things from the family and whatever, I guess it seems like things are on the up and up as much as like a relationship like that could be. If they're happy, you know, they deserve it. Let them be happy, man. But the way he talks about her and the way she talks about him, you don't get that vibe at all. He was just talking about a low time in his life when he was paying escorts, right? When he was sugaring. Now, the rest of this video kind of just goes into things that we already discussed in the last video with Mudahar. So if you want my opinions on just the financial shit and the job interview and all those other things, you go ahead and watch the last video that I posted. I'm just going to wrap this up by giving a quick little review and my opinions on the Lolcow podcast. First off, I like to say, like, if it's a possibility, man, I'd love to be on that. I'd love to chalk it up with the best bog player in Call of Duty history, man. Like, I would love to have a chance to talk to the COD Rage King himself, you know. That would be pretty cool, actually, you know. But anyways, so yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was pretty cool, man. So I like Tommy C kind of ran the show. He kind of brought the right energy. I will say nothing too crazy at any point ever really did happen. You know, they went into everything, they talked about everything, but it was mostly just like a group of Lolcows, you know, chalking it up, having a good time. It was just like some bro talk, some buddy talk kind of shit. I would like to see someone rage out, and I'm sure with something like this, the Lolcow podcast, I'm sure that it's gonna be some crazy fight or whatever that breaks out at some point. So I'm definitely interested to see this going forward. I might extrapolate some more content from the podcast. I actually dig into it a little bit more, see what I could talk about. I do want to talk about, it's been this one goofy YouTuber I've been looking at. He's talking about the Boogie cycle. And now, this is true, Boogie does has this cycle, so I do want to speak on that. So expect a lot more content about Boogie, and I've been thinking about this for a while, because when I got exposed to the whole Kiwi Farms thing, and I made a video on them, and they made a thread on me, and everything like that, I started watching a lot of Lolcow content. I was like, yo, this is actually pretty entertaining, I'm not finna lie. So I'm thinking about making some videos about some Lolcows, man. It might be a nice little niche for me. Anyways, hope y'all having a fantastic day. God bless everyone, praying for everyone that watches this video. I hope you are met with nothing but positivity and enlightenment today. Drink water, take care of yourself, touch some grass. Peace out, bitches.
Always stuck in cycles, my head it spins around, yeah, it feels just like a cyclone. I don't know which way to go, I'm stuck way down low, I can never get it right. My heart is broken, yeah, it's never right. Yeah, you never trust me, right? All you did was yell and fight, trying to work harder, trying to make something on a come up. Oh, you dumb, huh? Gotta get it, I know that I'm the one, yeah. Shut the fuck up, bitch, you don't have no shit to say. I've been balling harder every day, I can't let them tear me down and get in my way. Gotta focus harder, so I'm working harder. Everybody knows I played it smarter. Been saying all of that shit, you talking whack. I can't listen, you was not on facts. What the fuck was that? Tryna blow up, no, my brothers got my back. No, my brothers got my back. Whoa, I don't do friends. If you not on some 15-year shit, you can kick rocks. I don't do no TikToks. Yeah, I'm from the block, selling fucking rock. Whoa, I got pain, yeah, I got pain. It's way down in my brain, in my soul, it's hard to maintain. Hustle harder, find my way. You's a goofy, you ain't had no shit to say.